Hi, I'm Ryan Mark again from Vox.com. I'm going to show you a little bit about how we used open captions in a project recently, and we probably will again soon. So this is the live feed of C-SPAN, which it's pretty cool actually. It's like a few seconds ahead. If you put it up next to the actual cable station, it's often a little bit ahead of time. But back in February, we were kind of inspired by a similar thing that NPR did to transcribe live fact-checking of the presidential debates back in fall. And they had a really big rig set up to do this. NPR has like agreements with big companies that do like live transcription and do captioning, and so they had access to a suite of tools that very few other organizations had. So we really wanted to do something like this, and we originally started looking at using like text-to-speech, maybe taking you can also get C-SPAN radio. It's just an MP3 live stream. Trying to do some text-to-speech translation on that to see if that would work. But with help from Pietro, we were able to find the open captions, which is a perfect solution for this kind of situation. So as a result, we put together a format and a little publishing thing to take the transcript, allow our editors and writers at Vox to go in, highlight things, add comments and fact checks and analysis, and have it be publishing this page on like a 1-minute timeout. So it's constantly updating with new content as the speech was happening and as we were adding things to it. So I'm going to show you a little bit how we did that, because I always love showing this off because it's a really neat little demo. Let's see which. So here we go. This is taking the open captions feed and adding it to a Google Doc. So I've been coming in here and deleting it clearing it out every few minutes because this can get big, and once you have like a 40, 50-page Google Doc, Google Docs doesn't work as well. So we might see something come in here. But basically what we did is we set up a kind of a workflow with our writers and editors to come in here. We had a copy editor come in, copy edit these things, and then we probably had 15 to 20 people in this doc at the same time writing and editing, adding comments, which turned into captions, and kind of highlighting things they wanted to talk about. And also then using Slack to like talk about the different comments they wanted to make, and a lot of those comments ended up turning into stories that they later wrote. So one of the challenges with this is converting the stream that we get from open captions into something that Google Docs can handle. Unfortunately, Google Docs at this point can't handle any kind of streams of things, but it can do like a little thing where it checks an API every few minutes. So we put together a little proxy here. This is public on our GitHub, and I'll share these links in the HyperAudio Slack. Just a very simple kind of buffer and REST server, so it kind of collects stuff from open captions and kind of keeps a little buffer in memory, and then whenever you make a request, you say, I want all the captions since for the last 5 minutes or last minute or whatever else, and it spits things back for you. The other challenge with working with open captions is, if you can't notice, there's no punctuation, no capitalization, very little formatting, lots of weird stuff like these arrows, what the hell does that mean? And then you'll get stuff in, like we saw a little bit ago, with like commercials will show up, or there'll be like music playing and weird little things, and then what the heck?
So
it starts. Did you just deploy something?
No. So this is on CNN. when commercials come in, the people who captioned the commercials are coming with captions that were typed in
Yeah.
a different format than the live broadcast.
Yeah.
So these are probably commercials. Those
So-
are the lowercase.
So there's a lot of weird
Yeah.
stuff formatting in here, and it would be a pain in the ass for a copy editor to come in here and properly capitalize everything, especially when we're trying to cover a 45-minute speech in real time. So another major part of what we had to do with this buffer server was to fix a lot of that. So we wrote a bunch of rules, regexes, a bunch of like find and replace lists of things we figured like would be discussed in the speech to kind of like do a pre-copy edit automatically before our copy editor came through and made sure everything worked well. We took a lot from. This is a great explanation from NPR, from Tyler at NPR, about how they did this. A lot of this project, because of open captions, a lot of the technology in this project was not that complex. The complex part was getting 15 writers and editors in a single Google Doc at once, copy editing it, coordinating them, having them add things to the Google Doc in a way that didn't like blow everything up. And have it be incrementally published. So they had come up with a really great workflow for how this would work, and we just kind of cribbed a lot of that. But we had to do some training in our newsroom in order to get everybody kind of on the same page, so we knew what we were doing. This is what we ended up with. We have a blog post on our. We're not updating it right now, but there's a long, in-depth post about how we built this and these tools and stuff like that on storytelling.voxmedia.com. But yeah, so this is one great application of using captions for this kind of stuff. And regarding that copyright question, since whenever C-SPAN covers like a public thing, like if they're covering Congress, if they're covering a speech by a politician, they can't really claim copyright on it because that's public domain. So we were totally okay using, or at least our lawyers were totally okay using us using this text and publishing it. So that's what I got. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah?
On the actual day or whatever, so did it publish incrementally or something?
Yes.
Like the live edits every week? Is that a manual process? Like, did you take a cut at a certain point and push publish, or is it just?
So we had, let's see, I don't have it in here. I would show you, but it's in a private document that I can't share. But we basically came up with a format with using kind of like markdown style kinds of things in the Google Doc. So we had like a big line break, right? And below that line break, nothing would be published. So there was like a kind of a staging area in the document where things could be copy edited. People could add annotations and stuff like that. If they wanted to highlight something, they would put brackets around it and like drop their comments with their like initials below it. And then we parse that out using our static publishing rig. So most of the work that we build and publish in the newsroom is done statically. We use a Ruby tool called Middleman, which is a static site generator, which has a plugin that integrates into Google Docs. So we just kind of wrote like some quick script stuff in Ruby that parsed the things out, formatted the doc, and just kind of dumped it out as HTML. And then we kind of ran that on a timer and we published it every minute or so. Cool. Thanks.